Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nerd Apocalypse. This is episode 3. We made it to episode 3.
Episode 3.
No, for our Spanish-speaking friends, we do have this in syndication. No, we don't.
Oh, great.
As you heard, we got another guest speaker today. Today we got Frodo on the show. Oh, God.
See, he's already tearing up, man.
Well, no, because, like...
What is it? What are we at, like 30 seconds into the show? And
well, like,
he's already tearing up.
I wish the viewers could see it, because, like, the fucking smile is kind of his face.
Puts everything together. Compose yourself.
I know. I'm having difficulty right now. God, you are having way too much fun with that.
It's great.
He's just sitting over here with like what looks like a plunger head, and he's just having a.
It is a plunger head.
Oh, it is just. But he's having a heyday with it.
You gotta use that technique, you know.
Working those thumbs.
Ladies must love you.
Yeah, they probably do.
Probably do. Wait, why is there a probably in there?
Well, it depends on the person.
Here we go in English.
Nerds!
You're a nerd. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, Peter.
Oh, good lord! This is going to be an entertaining video. I can already tell. I can already tell this is going to be an entertaining video. So, for those of you, I guess really since we got our guest on the show now, the Nerd Apocalypse, I'll explain it a little bit. Basically, we just nerd out. It'll be anime, manga, video games, anything you could think of on the top of your head that's nerdy. We'll talk about it. Just kind of have fun with it.
Can talk about anything and everything.
Oh,
yeah. Exactly.
And we made it in 1 minute and 50 seconds into the show before things got inappropriate. Oh, fun. We're going to have so few female viewers. Oh, my God. I'm screaming this language up.
What's going to happen? Maybe about another 30 seconds before we get the...
I'm scared now. But,
okay, back to business.
Yeah, it was as I was saying before we started the video, the kind of the rise of freemium gaming. Because you think in the older days of gaming, for example, World of Warcraft, which is kind of our current mainstay example of MMO, because before you had EverQuest.
Still Warcraft is still
Warcraft
play.
Yeah, that's the whole concept of you buy the game and then you pay the subscription fee. EverQuest followed the same system, but World of Warcraft kind of is the one everyone knows nowadays because EverQuest is, dead.
No one plays EverQuest.
Yeah, EverQuest has been dead for a long time.
I haven't even heard of it.
I've heard of it. I haven't played EverQuest.
I have played EverQuest, but that's real old school MMO right there. But the new rise in freemium, where you have games like Warframe, you have World of Tanks, World of Warplanes, War Thunder. There's a lot of free-to-play MMOs out there. Basically, you play the game for free, but if you want to unlock cosmetic features, and sometimes if you want to unlock quests or higher levels in the game, you got to pay for it. And that becomes a really kind of an interesting argument. Like, would you rather just pay $60 up front for a game or a subscription fee for a game versus being allowed to play half the game, but you got to pay money into it if you want to play any more?
Yeah, and then once you pay money into it, it actually starts getting good.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's an interesting argument.
Yeah, and you have some people who just don't really care about dropping, $100, $200 into a game if they're really into it. But even at that point, you can just go out and buy, a console version of the game and have everything. But then, even coming with that, most game industries like to release secondary DLCs even after the main game comes out.
Capcom, EA, we're talking about you.
So many DLCs.
Well, that's one thing I noticed, because if you ever actually look at a lot of these freemium games, you can put $200, $300 worth of cash in them and still not have the full game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, one I can think of off the top of my head, I don't know if you guys have played it, MechWarrior Online.
No.
There's a clan pack out there that allows you to unlock the clan mechs. The clan mechs are only a small percentage of the overall number of mechs. But the top package is like $230.
Dang.
And they're expecting you to put $230 into a game. You're not unlocking everything in the game, mind you. That's not unlocking everything. There are still mechs you're not going to have access to. You're not going to get like an infinite amount of premium time and crap like that. But I mean, you just pop $230 into a game. That's what? 3 full-price AAA releases, or God knows how many indie games, like 20?
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could buy like a baby with that.
No, babies are a lot more expensive,
Oh,
sadly.
dang.
Nobody wants children.
Not if you obtain babies the way I do.
Chloroform is not the answer.
I think that would fuck up the baby for life.
That's so horrible. Oh God, we're gonna get flagged so fast.
This is a horrible tangent. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, let's avoid those things.
Sorry.
Oh my God, Frodo scares me. Not in a good. Well, in a good way.
Okay.
He's fabulous.
All right.
But I guess that was.
It's an interesting way to go.
It really
We're going.
is.
We're going.
Cool.
We're gonna
We're
pretend.
going with this.
We're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Mm.
I'm just kind of curious. Like, for example, Frodo. Like, what kind of MMOs have you played?
What do you mean MMO?
That's a massively multiplayer online game.
I played Team. I don't do very much of that, but I have played Team Fortress 2, and I was addicted to that for like a few weeks, but there's not much more to that really. Oh, Halo, like custom edition. What else? Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront
So you're
was
not-
an amazing game.
So we kind of have him. He's not really one of our mainline gamers,
No,
but
not.
He's not as much of a nerd as you are.
yeah, I mean that's fine. As I said on the
Yeah,
last
put it out
episode,
for shit.
as I was talking about how we had that comment about casuals and hardcore gamers, and that I mean I'm never going to bash the casual gamers because guess what? You're still putting money into the industry,
Yeah,
and I mean,
technically.
yeah, you pay only buy 1 or 2 games occasionally, but hey, it's money in the industry.
Mhm.
But you would definitely be interesting for you to try out some of these MMOs. Maybe try a free to play MMO just to see if it piques your fancy. Some people don't like them, some people
yeah.
do. That's very personal preference on you.
Yeah, and nowadays there's a lot of freemium games out there that kind of cover just about every genre.
Oh yeah, even FPS. Like you
Yeah.
have oh God, I'm not remembering what it's called. It's like S something. There's a lot of these third-person action shooters, which are very interesting. They have a lot of interesting concepts to them, but freemium gaming is definitely one I say do not jump into. Like, make sure you know someone who knows gaming. They can kind of tell you, hey, this is a good freemium game versus don't touch this
Yeah.
one with a 30-yard stick.
Okay.
There are certain ones like that. It's like, don't waste your time. Like Navy Field, I love Navy Field, but it is a learning cliff. And for a new gamer, getting involved in Navy Field is a bad idea.
I bet. Yeah.
It's like Dwarf Fortress.
Oh god.
For anyone who's played Dwarf Fortress, that is not just a learning cliff. That's a learning execution. It requires extensive knowledge of a book to play. Believe me, if you ever get a chance to look at Dwarf Fortress, just look at it and look how it plays, and you will see what I mean almost instantly.
Dwarf Force.
Dwarf Force.
Dwarf Force. Yeah.
You're crazy.
Whatever.
What about you? What about you, that guy? What kind of MMOs have you been playing?
Well, that guy. What does that guy play? Well, more recently, the only MMO that I've played is War Thunder. Before that, I've gotten a little bit into what was it? I tried playing Warcraft, and I didn't really get too much into it. I'm not a big MMO guy. It's fun, but I kind of get bored with it, because I usually just play by myself. So I need like my own kind of clan or a group of people that I can play with to kind of keep it interesting.
Oh
Because
yeah.
after a while, just playing by yourself kind of gets boring and gets
Yeah.
a little tad bit depressing.
Pugging is
Go
definitely
cry
one of
in the
those
corner.
things I don't advise. Like, if you want to play a multiplayer game, do not pug. For example, the only times I pug is when I'm really bored or no one I know is online.
Yeah.
Like, very rare that I'm going to play an FPS or anything online alone. Because there's no point. It's more fun to play with your friends.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's a classic gaming thing. That's why multiplayer exists, is because it's more fun to play with your friends. Whether you're playing it professionally or you're just having a couple beers and trying to see who can do the dumbest thing in game before someone breaks a controller.
Wait, have y'all ever heard of Gary's Mod?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I fucking love Gary's Mod.
Dude, I just recently got into what's it called, the prop hunt.
I've seen people get some like hardcore serious in a prop hunt. It's really funny to watch like the strategies people will come up with in
Dang.
prop hunt.
I don't give a fuck about all the strategies. I just do something like I become a cannon, run around all over the place. It's fun.
It's really entertaining to watch prop hunt. Like, it's so weird to watch. Like, Gary's Mod's a lot of fun, especially if you can get like a group of people together and actually do like, it's like Minecraft.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
one of those games, like if you can get a group of people together to actually play it, it's really cool. You can do some crazy stuff in it.
Nice.
I mean, that's mostly online games.
Yeah.
The more power you have over the game's universe, you need a group of people to do it.
Yeah.
Like, there's stuff, like, for Minecraft shit, you do not play Minecraft alone because you will get bored so fast. But I guarantee you, 3-4 people together play Minecraft,
it gets interesting.
You're going to be up all night playing that game. Same with TF2. I mean, you get a group of guys together playing TF2, hopefully a couple beers, and TF2 becomes very interesting. You're trying to see who can kill with a taunt or something like that. One guy, the spy, is drunk and is backstabbing his own people. Spy's like, I don't know which team I'm on anymore. I've been putting out too many disguises.
Spy.
The spy has lost himself.
How do you keep doing this without having a brain aneurysm? I practice. No, you've had 3 bottles of scotch and your liver is probably shutting down right now.
That'll do it to
liver.
At this point, your liver is a rock. Oh, God. But yeah, that's a cool one. I'm trying to think. Like, for you, just because you're not really as much of a gamer, what would... Just when you've seen... Because I know you've seen the gaming community. Mm-hmm. Like, you've seen the crap we do. What's your kind of view as someone who's a bit more of an outsider? Like, what do you think when you look at the gaming community?
Oh, I mean, I think it's cool, totally. Like, for a little while, like, I don't know if this counts as, like, MMO or anything, but I was really addicted to Titanfall because my friend has an Xbox One because it's too expensive.
Yeah, I have it on PC, expensive. Believe me.
Yeah. Oh, you have it on PC? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool, man. But, like, some people play that stuff religiously, like crazy. Like, I mean... No, like, worse than you, like, these kids, like, you know, they just sit at a computer all day and, like, lose all their body mass and, like lose the inability to socialize, and it's kind of gross.
Believe me, when Diablo 2 existed, I was one of those people.
Oh.
I love Diablo 2.
At least you're back from it, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
You've come back.
You've
come back from the abyss, known as Diablo 2.
People who play Diablo understand what I mean when I say that. Like, you get in Diablo and you stay in. Like, it's like an abyss.
It's like a Diablo.
Yeah, really. Yeah. It's a horrible play on words, and you should probably be hanged for that joke. But
oh, great.
It is the truth.
I mean, it's always interesting for me as a gamer because I've been in the gaming community now for... I think I first really got into the gaming community when I was 12. So I've been in the gaming community for about 8 years now. And I've pretty much grown up in the gaming community. So for me, it's kind of interesting to hear what someone thinks who's on the outside looking in at us. Because I go to the cons, I go to E3 PAX and stuff. So I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I'm used to the craziness we do. And I always love that because I'll talk to some of my buddies who just aren't gamers or aren't anime fans at all. And they will, like, they'll see us when we're at these cons and they're like, you guys are insane. And I'm just kind of sitting here going, no, this is normal for us. Like, we're used to it.
It's just a normal day, man.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's very interesting. Like, I bet if I took you to a con, you'd sit there and go, what in the hell is going on?
I've heard a lot about what it's like, and I wanted to go with my friend to QuakeCon this summer.
Oh, God, QuakeCon is awesome.
Yeah. Like, isn't it in, like, the Hilton or something like that? Damn. Awesome. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I would love to go to one, but I'm pretty sure, like, I would, like, be, like, culturally shocked for, like, the first, like, hour or 5 days.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as much of a culture shock as you think, because, like, a lot of people have this kind of idea that gamers and anime fans are all, like, very bad stereotyped nerds.
Oh.
Like, that's what people think. Like, I've met a lot of people who, like, they'll meet me and they look at me, I'm like, I'm a soldier, I work out all the time, I do all this crap, and people were like, no, you'd never do this shit. And I'm sitting here going, like, I do this shit all the time. Like, I used to weigh, like, 240 pounds, I played Halo religiously, like, yeah, I'm a nerd. It's classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you go to cons and stuff, and not really. I mean, yeah, people kind of let themselves be relaxed at cons because you're surrounded by everyone who's like you.
Yeah, that's a word for it.
Well, because people, the best way I can put it is, it's just like nerdiness overflows at a con. Just because it's a place where you know that everyone else is super nerdy. So you can kind of just go fuck it.
Yeah, it's comfortable. It's you get there and you meet a whole bunch of people that are exactly like you, you're just like, this is like freaking like mecca for anime.
You should go to one. You should go to like a con or something, and just go with some friends. Never go to a con on your own, ever.
That'd probably be a bad idea.
Yeah, I've met people who go to cons on their own and they're like, it sucked, and I'm like, no shit, you went alone. It's like no one goes to a party alone. It's pointless.
Oh, I've gone to a party once.
Well, you're Frodo, so.
No, I brought Sam with me.
Did Merry and Pippin get dropped off along the way?
Yeah, by Treebeard.
Oh,
This
God.
podcast just got better.
You really did. But yeah, just like take a group of friends, and hopefully don't like take a group of people who are non-nerds because you're not gonna have as much fun. You want to have at least want to go with a group of people who kind of know cons. Like I know cons. If I'm like, I'll take my friends occasionally. Some of my friends who aren't like do nothing. Like I'll take them to E3 or PAX or something, just to kind of let them see what it's like. And I don't think I've ever had a friend, even like the most jockiest guys who hated the nerdy shit, not have fun at a con. Because everyone's just so, like, having fun. That's all cons are.
No, yeah, you're just having fun. It's not really the fact that, we're going to nerd out about this. It's just we're going to have fun. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. It's stuff like this, like YouTube shit, podcast stuff. Like, it's the same as that.
Screwing around and just doing what we like.
That's true.
Lots of screens around us.
You do that really well, man.
That is really
kind of scary.
I don't know how.
That is really creepy. The facial features just don't help. He just has that face. Motherfucker, you gotta lean forward and they're not gonna hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Oh, God.
Maybe.
Let the panties drop.
I can smell you.
Oh, my God, that was creepy. Oh, my God, that's so creepy. Oh, good Lord, that was scary. You scare me.
I don't know why I want some Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's the lovers over here.
About another 2 seconds, there's going to be a big explosion and Kool-Aid Man's going to run through the wall.
Ignoring the fact that we're, on the 3rd floor?
He'll explode through the bottom of the floor.
Like, really?
He'll, like, knock us on the walls, and then he'll feed us Kool-Aid.
Through his,
Through his spout.
Yeah. He might need your help getting that spout ready for release. Yeah.
Okay.
Frodo
Next
really
subject.
wants that spout.
Oh my God.
We're going down a path. We won't like when we get to the
Only
end.
getting worse by the second. Oh, God, that is so horrible. Oh, yeah, have you been, you've been downloading all this anime, including One Piece. Did One Piece ever finish downloading?
Yep. Yeah, I've been watching One Piece pretty much like continuously for like the past like day and a half. Almost caught up. I'm like what 119? No, yeah, 119 I think right now. Oh no, not 119, 619. Gosh, if I was at 119, I would be nowhere near done the series.
It's really interesting to look at the big three right now: One Piece, Bleach, Naruto. Because they're the big three of the manga anime universe.
Yeah, Bleach at this point, I've more stuck along with the anime, and the anime's cut off right now. They stopped it, I think, after the whole execution arc or whatever.
The manga is still going.
Yeah, the manga is still going. Manga is all like way past. I don't remember the name of the arc they're on right now, but
the current arc in Bleach is the Van der Eyck arc.
Yes.
Because what's really interesting is because the big three are coming to a close. Yep. Naruto is on its last couple chapters, and Bleach is on its last arc. So that's going to be a very interesting thing. Is that right now the big three are kind of holding the anime manga universe. What's going to happen when the big three void is gone? One Piece has got a while before.
Yeah, One Piece has at least got a good year and a half before they start at least closing it out.
But Bleach and Naruto, you could see Naruto done before the end of summer, and Bleach long before the end of the year it's done with its last arc.
Probably.
And that'll just be that'll be very strange, because that's going to leave a pretty big void that someone else is going to have to fill in.
Exactly.
Hunter x Hunter or something like that.
No, I don't think so, because Hunter x Hunter is kind of part of that second wave of shonen.
Oh, really?
Behind Naruto and Bleach, so that's why it never kind of gained as much popularity.
Yeah. Well, Hunter x Hunter came out around the same time as Bleach, Naruto, and
it was
One
a little
Piece.
after.
But it just never picked up the same momentum.
Yeah, because that was the problem. Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece became
like
they
now with its
all of it.
remake, it's getting more of like the credit needed back in like what was it like 99 or something like that.
Yeah.
But because now they're pushing almost like 130 episodes, so they're getting up there right now. But
yeah,
soon enough, I'm pretty sure Hunter x Hunter will keep going on for a while.
Oh yeah, it'll stay up there. I just don't think it'll ever reach the level of the big three.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious with kind of how it's going is that obviously in anime and manga, shonen has always been the big draw.
Yeah.
Because shoujo has never, even the most popular shoujo, which is Vampire Knight, has never caught up to the big three. Like in scale, it's never caught up. But I'm kind of wondering if after the big three ends, that age group, I wonder, are they going to look for a new shonen series to follow, or maybe they're going to move to seinen? Are you going to see a big group, that whole uprising? Because most of the shonen followers, like for us, for example, we're that group that follows the big three. That's our age group. Well, guess what? I mean, we're young for the age group for that generation. We're in our 20s, and
I could see that too because a lot of newer animes kind of like we've seen it like back like when we were kids that a lot of it was shown in high fast paced action. Real like likable characters, real happy like plot lines. But now you could see like as those kids are grown adults now, you could see that the anime is changing along with it, becoming a bit more mature, more moving from like you said from shonen to seinen. And it's really apparent because like a lot of the newer anime that's coming out now has a bit more mature themes to it, a little darker. But it's still there's a lot of them that have the kind of like happy-go-lucky, kind of shonen feel.
Well, we've definitely lost. One thing that was really common in older anime and manga was the whole black versus white. There was always the concept of there was a penultimate good and a penultimate evil.
Yeah.
And that they were the fighting. Whereas nowadays, a lot of anime and manga are kind of gray versus gray. Like, they try to humanize the bad guys and they try to give weaknesses to the good guys. And I like that because I'm a seinen guy. I love the whole concept of there is no right or wrong.
Oh yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's more convincing to watch characters because I mean, a character that's pure good, you can't really I can't look at a character who's all good and associate myself with him. Or a villain that's pure evil, you can't really associate because they don't feel human.
Well, I could.
Sure, Frodo, chloroform.
Yeah, but that's one good thing about anime, though. Like, when you move away from, the white and black and kind of get into that kind of, like, gray area of characters where you can have a kind of, like, penultimate good character that finds himself in a area where he's got to kind of cross over or whatever and feel that corruption but find a way towards the end to redeem himself. Just kind of follow along with that story.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. I think a great example of that is the Rosario Vampire. And that in the beginning, it was very black and white. There were very obvious bad guys, very obvious good guys. And it was cool to watch Sukun as he goes through the series, is that he starts off very naive, very pure. And as the series goes on, I mean, he gets very corrupted as a character.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he obviously always kind of keeps his idealistic viewpoint, but him as a character through his powers, the ghoul, and also kind of his ways of acting towards the enemy become very dark towards the end. Like, he's very quick to destroy an enemy. Whereas in the beginning, he was apprehensive to kill a bug. In the end, he's very quick to just absolutely destroy anything that gets in his way. Which is very cool because that's character development and watching.
Oh, yeah.
And if you followed Rosario Vampire, I think I started following it in 2008. And it just ended. Like, the epilogue is releasing this month for Rosario Vampire.
I gotta catch up.
Yeah, I mean, you're missing. Well, you watched the anime, right?
Yeah, I watched the anime. They ended off after season 2, which
is a full
which is a lot.
It missed the whole sequel manga.
Yeah.
There's a second sequel after that. Yeah, it's a really good one. That's a great one. It's a bit weird because they do overplay the harem bit a lot in the beginning. It's really overplayed.
They kind of overplay it throughout the entire series.
Well, towards the end, it gets better. Yeah. Like, the sequel manga, it kind of loosens out on the harem aspect, and the ending really kills the harem. It's kind of funny. But the harem gets killed in a way you don't expect. It doesn't get killed because there's a girl in the end he chooses. It's the whole other direction.
Oh, wow.
He just does, he just kind of goes, fuck it.
No.
Because there's a huge plot twist at the end that kind of... It's a very interesting plot twist, and then it fundamentally breaks Sukun's character. because he kind of goes through this revelation moment of like his character just kind of the naivety of his character just shatters.
Wow.
But it happens right at the very end, which they're kind of have to reconcile that in the epilogue, because if they don't, it's going to feel very, very downer ending if they don't kind of reconcile that as his character.
Yeah, they probably will.
Oh yeah, the writers. That's a very good writer. There are certain you'll notice them. Like there's a few of them. Like Imdal Young is a great writer. But he has a problem. He never finishes any of his fucking series. Like A Flame Inferno. He does a lot of series. He just never ends. It drives me nuts. Like he has all these great characters, does all these great arcs, and then just never finishes them. And you're just sitting here going, really? Fuck you.
Yeah.
That reminds me. You were talking about corruption of characters with Tashima no Masaya-sama, which is I don't think there's an anime for it. There might be, but I might be wrong. Someone on the internet will correct me at some point or another. It's a manga. Follows this character as literally, and you also follow him as he ages. Like he starts off a little kid. At the end of the series, he's actually a grown adult.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Which is really cool. There's a huge time skip in the middle that facilitates his aging, but you see his character go from literally scared to attack anything and like a terrified kid that always needs to be protected, and at the end of the series he's literally one of the most powerful characters in existence, and in one section quite literally tortures another being because it hurt someone he cared for. It's very interesting to watch a character go from
dark.
Well, because the character, he falls in one aspect in that he loses the innocence and falls to darkness, but in the same aspect he looks at fate and kind of goes, fuck you. He's one of those characters who the reason he falls is because he doesn't agree with fate. And he doesn't agree with the way the universe works and basically gives a middle finger to the universe and writes his own rules. Which is it's an anti-hero in one aspect when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a very well-written anti-hero because it's convincing for why he falls. Very convincing why he basically tells the universe to go fuck itself. Because you watch his character get broken during this before the time skip and all the way several chapters after it. You kind of watch his character just everything goes fucking wrong for him. Everything. So
Everything.
Yeah. It's those mangas out there that like have the main character just go through hell and back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Techno Lies, that one. You need to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to watch that one.
Night Run. You also have to read that one. I have so many series. I'm like gonna make a list one day, and he's gonna be reading this list for like the next 10 years.
Pretty much.
Because I've been working on this list for about 8 years, and I still haven't. And it's grown bigger.
Oh.
To put that in perspective.
It's become a monster.
It really has. That is definitely the becoming a nerd. Because you like build a list of shit you want to read and you want to play and all that crap, and it just gets fucking bigger, and you can never catch up ever. You can play video games and read manga every hour of every day and still never catch up.
No, yeah, because you're always adding new stuff to it. It's like, oh, that looks really cool. I'm gonna watch that sometime. 20 years later.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten to the shows I said I was gonna watch 10 years ago.
that is totally like nerd problems, like right there. That is nerd problems.
There's so much out there, it's easy to get lost in all that.
Oh yeah,
that's really true. I mean, if you just go to some of those online scanlation sites, which technically mangakas don't agree with them. There's a whole snafu going on. It's been going on since like 2010. They've been arguing about it. Technically, they're not legal by certain legalities, but there's no actual. You can't be punished for it, but it's frowned upon. So I'm not saying go read on these sites, but I'm saying they exist.
Okay.
So I'm just putting that out there to people. But yeah, I mean, you could go through their lists, and their lists are 500, 600 manga long.
Dang.
Like, you're just sitting there. I know, I'm doing my best to ignore her. We have the little bitch who's standing here.
I've been called that twice tonight.
We love her, but she's insane, like clinically. She's so abused.
She's like a man in a female body.
I didn't say that.
It's okay.
He said that.
It's my Frodo.
Did you say Fruto or did you say Frodo?
I can't say it right.
She said Fruto.
I'm made of fruit.
Yeah. We have Samwise buffalo. Samwise broccoli, I guess.
Take a bite on my arm. Pineapple.
He's delicious in more ways than one. Yet again, it's going downhill again. This is the second time we've walked down this road.
Happens. Just go with it.
The second time we've walked down this road.
Just go with
Started
it.
talking about
That guy's
fruits.
gonna stay out of this.
It's at least it's not as bad as the what I'm now going to refer to as the Kool-Aid Man incident in the podcast.
Yeah.
This podcast is forever going to be referencing the Kool-Aid Man incident.
Probably.
Yeah, that shit's just scary.
Probably.
So out of curiosity, Dana, who's your favorite character in Hunter x Hunter?
Hisoka.
I want you to tell everyone in the internet how much you love Hisoka.
Oh my god, he's my favorite. Especially when he makes all those orgasm noises when he sees going in.
Oh, fuck. I don't know whether I'm going to cut that from the video or not, but
It's definitely gonna stay in there now.
yeah, I'm going to leave that in the video.
Apparently I'm into pedophiles.
This does not surprise me. You do realize that, right?
No, it's not that.
You don't think
He's just
out of
an
all the
awesome
characters in a
character.
show that is so well put
He's
together
demented.
and that comes in with some great character development through its main characters, Gon and Killua,
Hey,
she
he always
picks
comes
the
and saves
one
the day. He
character
always saves their asses.
that is pretty much the epitome
I don't
of
care about
evil.
his personality. He's fucking badass.
He's really not the epitome of evil.
Illumi is.
If I go to characters that I can
Fuck
think of off the top of
Illumi.
my head that are truly evil, Kira is one of my first. Kira is really an evil character. Like, straight
No,
up evil.
Fuck Peto, because it killed kites.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Akainu.
Yeah.
Fuck you and Akainu, because he killed Ace. He can suck my dick.
Yeah.
All I gotta say.
She
about
loves
that.
Ace, and well, as everyone who watches or reads One Piece knows, Ace was killed by Akainu because he has badass magma powers, and now she's crying. Her tears are glorious.
maybe a little bit late for this, but hey, if you haven't seen any of these or read it, maybe a couple spoilers.
Yeah, if you're watching if you're watching the Nerdpocalypse and you're not expecting spoilers, you are in the wrong area.
Too bad. You do for you, I don't do for you, you do for me.
$3.
Come back again. Thank you very much.
Oh my god. we are so bad about that.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's whatever. I mean,
We've had worse.
I'm not gonna cut it. I'm just gonna leave it in. So,
Woo, party.
well, I think the podcast is supposed to be us just kind of bullshit and then talking about
Yeah,
stuff.
it's just us having fun. It
I mean, there's
doesn't
no
matter
point
what we
for
say.
me.
It's gonna happen.
Nobody expects real professionalism until later.
Stop
What do you mean later? Oh.
As weird shit goes on in the background of the podcast. It's the best way I can put
Don't
it.
say.
Hey, my legs are stuffed, okay?
Now that Dana's in the room, this totally makes me want to bring up the classic kind of. You're not going to understand it as much as that guy and I understand it, and that when you get interested in anime, boys and girls go through stages of anime.
Yes, this is.
Boys go through the shonen action stage when they first get into anime. For kind of our generation, that was Dragon Ball Z. And girls go through the shonen yaoi phase.
Oh my god.
Every girl I have ever met that was into anime, when she was first into anime, she loved shonen, and always it was yaoi.
One Piece is not shonen.
Yes,
Yes, it
There's
is!
too much tits in that damn show for it
It's
to be
shonen,
a kid's show.
It is!
No, Nami's boobs are all over the place, and they're always referencing sexual
Well,
things.
shonen doesn't
It's shonen.
doesn't
It's for
necessarily
kids.
necessarily have to be
One
kids.
Piece is not for kids.
Bleach is shonen.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Bleach has people get cut in half.
for kids. One Piece is
Not necessarily. They
Naruto?
You agreed with me on that the other day. Oh my god.
Yeah, but we're in America. They're very stingy here about.
That is actually really
They're very
true.
stingy about boobs and stuff.
Yeah, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece are all
Like
shonen
Hunter x
big
Hunter,
three.
they have yet to show any.
I would say like Naruto is probably the most childish. You know, not much happens in that. I don't know. I haven't been keeping
That's
up to
how
date
Hunter
with
x
it.
Hunter
but-
As it gets later into the series,
One Piece is
actually,
not.
Okay.
towards the
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you were
Later in the Shippuden
when
arc-
we were talking about One Piece,
Whoa,
you were like,
alright.
oh yeah, because like I guess the producer got to a point where they're like, oh, this is not a kids show anymore. Fuck it.
They're like we had.
Those were your exact words.
it's still
Oh
shonen.
yeah, I know. I agree, but yeah, what we think shonen is, when we consider it more kid-wise, it's not really.
I'm not a kid. I may look like
It's
a 12
more of, like I
year
said,
old.
like that fast-paced action, likable characters, and what was it?
Well, you got to think seinen is different. Seinen are shows like Technolize are shows like...
when we have these kind of categories, shonen, seinen, it's more along the plot lines of, like, the genres of, like, how they're presenting the information.
Like, Death Note is seinen. Death Note is not shonen whatsoever.
Death Note was shonen. It would... Yeah.
Because it's very dark, it's very dramatic, very plot-heavy. Those are very iconic figures of seinen, where shonen is definitely, it's fast-paced, it's got lots of very black and white, good versus evil. There's not a lot of depth to the plot. Like, if you really realize you pay attention to early Naruto and early Bleach, the plot is paper thin. Like, the plot is going nowhere. It's all action. Yeah. That's very... I mean, that's shonen. I mean, that's what little kids... I mean, little kids aren't going to get a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, it's more simpler plots. You're not going to delve into something all complex.
You think, like, early One Piece, what was most of it? Most of it was...
Okay, Claymore isn't a shonen show.
No, Claymore is very seinen.
That's what I was watching the other day.
Yeah, Claymore is very seinen.
Dry made me watch it and I like it.
She will. I mean,
she's slowly transitioning.
I watch everything.
That is true.
If it has a good plot, I'll watch it. It doesn't even matter if it's for fucking kids or not.
Yeah. We're just joking, because, like, everyone, you do, like, you go through a phase. Like, as you watch more, girls are a bit different. A lot of them will stay in the shonen phase, the yaoi thing. I know some chicks who, like, never left that. But then I know a lot of them who would go more to the josei and seinen. I think that's just very common as you stay with anime and manga. You kind of begin to want the more depth to the plot, because you get tired of the pure action of the young kids, and you're kind of like,
you want a little more from it. Nothing just so as simple. Even though I gotta admit, One Piece is still amazing to this day.
Oh yeah, but I mean that's also because we've grown up with it.
Yeah,
like you gotta think
a bit too. Right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. But you gotta think for us. I mean, we literally grew up with Naruto and Bleach.
Yeah.
You fucked it.
It's like Pokemon. I started watching Pokemon when I was like 10. So, I mean, for those of us who've grown up with it, it's different for us versus, like, someone who is just coming in anime and manga right now, watching One Piece is probably not going to think about it the same way we do since we've grown up with it.
Mm-hmm. You're good.
I think that's a very important fundamental piece of the big three.
Yeah.
It's not that some of it is nostalgic. I mean, it's because we grew up with it. That's part of I think that's part of the thing we got to remember about the big three. Is that they're not...
Yeah, I probably wouldn't ever watch another anime that's fucking 600 plus episodes.
Yeah, you would.
But One Piece is special.
That's actually one thing I really kind of agree with her on, because after getting really into anime and manga, I prefer series that are not necessarily short. Like, I don't like one-shots because there's not enough development. Yeah. But I'm fine if a manga only goes 100, 200 chapters. I don't necessarily want a 500 chapter monster.
No, yeah. And even on the anime side, like, I'm fine with, like, an anime that only ends after, like, say, even, like, the really shorter ones, like K-Project, that ends after, like...
14 episodes.
14 episodes. Like, say, a minimum of at least 24, because you can only shove so much plot and character development into, say, that's about 12 hours worth of anime?
K-Project cheats, I'm going to admit. Because K-Project, all of the lore of K-Project exists, but is never explained.
Wait, are they gonna make more of Orion High School Host Club?
No, Orion Host Club ended.
They were making another, like, the second manga at the beginning of the year, but I never looked.
No, it's not going anywhere. Orion Host Club was one of those manga that it did spawn a spin-off, but the spin-off's not.
Funny. I liked it.
Well, a lot of series will spawn spin-offs, like Code Geass. It got Nightmare of Nunnally, Suzaku the Counterattack, and there's a third one that I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But those spin-offs never went anywhere.
Not really. They were just kind of there to just... I think more for fan-wise.
Well, yeah, and they were there to kind of milk the franchise.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... Like, that'll happen a lot. Like, Fate Night, there's lots of spin-offs of that, but spin-offs almost never do well. Even direct sequels, like the Capo, it had a direct sequel, and the direct sequel never matched up to the original.
Well, Fate Stay Night did it really well because they had the original series. Well, with anime-wise, they threw out the original anime Fate Stay Night, and then they got smart and went back to Fate Zero, which I'm pretty sure they planned that one straight out.
Well, I mean, it was so obvious with that because it was originally a visual novel, which has tons of branching arcs. Yeah. So it makes it so easy to make new series because you only follow one of the arcs in one anime. So, hey, if we want to make another Fate Zero anime, let's just follow a different arc this time.
Yeah, that's all they really need to do.
You see that a lot. If you'll notice some anime and manga, like the one I mentioned, Da Capo, which is a romance. It's a seinen romance manga, which sounds very weird because those two usually don't go together without more.
Sounds depressing.
Extra. It's actually not. It approaches a romance in a more realistic manner.
Oh, like, okay.
But it was birthed off a visual novel. And you would never guess it from reading it, but I remember after I'd read it and its sequel, because I read romance. I'm one of those guys who will read pretty much anything, as long as it's not like shoujo or young shonen. I don't like reading shonen anymore, especially the shoujo. I kind of got to a point where I was like, you know what? It's really not that interesting to watch, because I know where the plot's going when it comes to shonen.
It's obvious.
But that's just, yeah, I can't really...
Yeah.
If I see a new shonen come out, I'm just kind of like, okay, I might.
You know you're gonna watch it.
There's some of them that are pretty good. What was it? There was one I watched a long time ago. It was a hilarious series. What was it called? Busou Renkin.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
You can't pull that up. Just put it back normally.
With thud? But
probably wanted to go all gangster today.
Gangsta. I do remember Busou Renkin. That one had a very interesting ending.
It did.
Because of how the main character becomes the victor.
Yeah, and also too how one of the main villains ends up becoming a good guy.
Well, yeah, because Victor, the problem with not the problem, what made Victor an interesting villain was because half the calamity he caused wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
It was because to him, drawing energy was basically like breathing. Like, he never intended to kill anyone.
Oh, yeah.
But that was part of what made Victor such a compelling villain, was that because he really obviously wasn't a villain. Like, he considered himself above humanity, which in some aspects he wasn't wrong. Like, he really was the next step in evolution. But he just he had the wrong outlook on what he should have been, which made him a very dynamic villain and great to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Busou Renkin was very well written. The romance was horrible in that one, though.
Yeah.
It felt very forced.
It was kind of forced. They could have had a great series and not thrown in the romance in there.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of those series I'm happy they ended it kind of early because it was obviously starting to shake a little bit. That happens sometime, though. I mean...
Yeah.
That's inevitable. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have those series where you're just like, you need to kill this. Like, it's not going anywhere.
Bad idea.
There's like Rurouni Kenshin. Like, that one should have ended a long time before it did, because that last arc did not need to happen.
No.
Because that's where you learn the origin to a scar, but it shouldn't have happened.
No. Just a scar?
No, I don't know if the anime went all the way to the end of the manga.
I don't think so. It's been a minute since I've seen Rurouni Kenshin, but I think they ended it early off in the manga.
Yeah,
but I guess I don't know. If for anything, they could have diverted and had an anime original, kind of like how Fullmetal Alchemist did it.
Yeah, that's true. But no, like the last arc, it goes into how he got the scar, and it talks about kind of his first romance, and it just it was one of those, it felt very forced, and I was just like, I kind of wish they hadn't done it.
Yeah, it was just one of those things that's kind of unnecessary. Like, the original manga just...
Well, because the true final villain of the manga was him fighting off against, I can't remember his name, it's like Shiki or whatever. I'm horrible with names, this is in the real world, let alone manga. But he faces off against him, and that guy feels like a true final boss.
Yeah.
And even in the last true boss really just never really compares up to that. That was one of the problems where they had an arc after an arc that just never compared, and it shouldn't have existed.
Yeah.
You run into that problem sometimes. It's one of those things. It's like you see it on TV all the time. Those series, you're just like, please let it die.
Yeah, it's like what I've said with Bleach. Like, when they introduced Aizen as an enemy, you think, when you see Aizen progress throughout the entire series, he's one of, in my opinion, one of the greatest villains that show has ever put out, if not the best. But once that arc finished, I thought, just end it here, because then they continue on with the execution arc, which kind of just ruins it for me. But
Aizen's a very divisive villain in the Bleach community, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people in the Bleach community feel that Aizen was too much of an asshole. Because all of his powers were, one, horribly broken, and two, like, all of his character literally, because of the way his powers worked, his plot it felt like his plot was too perfect. A lot of people,
Yeah.
like, I've definitely saw that in the Bleach community. There was a lot of infighting because some people felt that Aizen was just an asshole because all of his, well, why did this happen? Well, because Aizen's the most overpowered character in Bleach and first off, and his Shikai basically allows him to control everything. But that's why sometimes I didn't really like Aizen. And Aizen also felt evil for the sake of evil.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't feel like a real villain sometimes. Sometimes he felt like kind of the card-carrying villain who's like, I am evil because I can be, not because he had actually any reason to be evil.
Oh yeah, yeah. When they introduced him in the show, it was kind of like, all right, we can deal with this. And I guess a start off of a villain, like when they actually show that Aizen's behind most of this stuff, and he's leaving now. But I still believe it. Yeah, there was a lot of kind of what I'm thinking of. Jumps and like logic with Aizen, like he can do this just because he's this way just because.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the problem with Aizen. That's why I stand by this, and I will always stand by this, that Bleach should have ended after the Soul arc. After him saving Rukia and becoming accepted by the Shinigami should have been the end of the manga. Like, straight up. Because the last villain was Byakuya, who is a very convincing villain at that point. Because there's a reason for him, for everything he's doing has a reason. And his character is more dynamic than, Aizen's character is not dynamic at all, which is really one of the things that kicks him in the ass.
And Byakuya as a villain was really good because he was one of those villains that you can kind of see as a hero because of his sense of honor.
Yeah, he was a very sympathetic villain.
Yeah.
Because he was obviously, and there was a lot of internal conflict with Byakuya that was very obvious with his character, that, like, when he fought Renji, and he showed honor to Renji at the end of their fight, and it was very obvious that he was kind of torn up over what he was having to do, because part of him cared for his sister, and then part of him needed to do his duty. And if they'd ended it there, I'd have been very happy. I just firmly believe it should have ended there. They shouldn't have continued it. Like, Naruto should have ended at the Pain arc, but now they brought in Madara, and Naruto's first real villain, because Madara is actually the first truly evil villain of their series, because every villain, if you've noticed, has been very sympathetic. Madara is the first villain that is a true villain in Naruto. It's interesting. I noticed that when I was looking at Madara, whereas all the other characters were either had been tortured or gone through hell and back, and that's what made them evil, or they were just on the other side, not necessarily evil. Whereas Madara is just kind of like, yeah, this dude's evil, like, straight up. He's not.
No reason.
Yeah, he's just evil.
No, yeah, and there's some things that I like about anime is that they introduce a character that is just plain out evil. Like, I've seen it so much in it's more in your shonen shows that kind of like give you like backstory behind the villain and makes you kind of more sympathetic to like why he's doing what he's doing, or like his motives for being a villain, or why he thinks he's higher than humanity, or whatever it is in the show. But I kind of don't like that. It's because it makes me feel like, I understand you now. Yeah, you can be a bad guy. You're still gonna get your butt kicked by the hero of the show, but yeah, I feel for you. I don't want to feel for the bad guy. I was like, this guy's bad. He really needs to get stopped. Or like, he's bad, but he's cool, kind of bad.
Yeah, the magnificent bastard. Yeah. That's why I kind of
you're boring, Elijah.
That's why I do kind of.
No, I just don't know very much about this stuff.
I know. I don't either. That's
but,
why I don't.
I do like fairy tale and stuff.
Fairy tales are a great one. But I do kind of like, there are a handful of manga out there that are kind of the start of darkness, where you kind of get to watch a character fall to darkness. Like, there's one with you read comic books?
No.
Okay. You know who the X-Men are, right?
Yes, of course, yeah.
There's a comic book out there that is Magneto's Start of Darkness. It shows Magneto and why he falls to darkness, basically. And it shows him go from naive youth out. I really do like Start of Darkness-based stories, because you kind of get... Watching the birth of a villain is far more interesting than the birth of a hero.
Yeah. Because heroes just kind of, typical sort of thing, like, we all know. Like, but, like, with the villains, like, a lot more treacherous, a lot more interesting.
Yeah, well, it also kind of addresses a side of humanity that we don't want to normally admit to.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to admit that each and every one of us can fall.
Oh yeah, and there's another comic that I've seen it in. It's that it kind of it has amazing character development. You'll hear me talk about it a lot, but The Walking Dead. But because in the beginning of the comics, you can see Rick shows up and he gets back with his family. The character that has the most character development in that entire series is Carl, his son. Because he starts off as a stereotypical innocent child who has no idea what's going on and is like, oh, I need my father to protect me. But later on in the series, as he starts to realize how the world works now, starts to change. You see him start to lose himself to what the world's becoming, all the zombies or the walkers, so they call them, roaming around. He's like, oh, I have to learn to defend myself. I have to learn to be independent. I have to be a man. And he halfway, oh yeah, but you see halfway through the series too that Carl kind of starts to develop kind of like sociopathic tendencies because he loses all emotion. He's just a cold, senseless, non-emotional person. He doesn't care about anything. He's like, oh, I need to survive. That is it. But then later on, and like they're more current in the series, you see that he's starting to get a bit more emotion back in. He's starting to learn. So you can see like how he develops throughout the series, which is amazing to see firsthand.
That's definitely, I mean, that is just always cool because it is really interesting when any form of media addresses the sides of humanity that we don't want to admit to.
Yeah.
Because that is a very common thing you always notice. People always talk about what we are capable of, and they always say, well, you're capable of great good, you're capable of all this, you can be a hero. But there's the flip side of that coin is that every person is also capable of just as great evil.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very interesting to watch that. Watching a character go from a hero falling into, like, there's a comic book out there called Irredeemable. It's basically what happens if someone had Superman's powers but fell to darkness. And it quite literally, you watch his character because there's one incident where he leaves Earth for like 10 minutes because he wants to be away from cries of help. And shit goes bad. Well, people blame him for it. And it's kind of what happens when he finally snaps under the pressure. And it just shows his descent into becoming the worst villain the world has ever known. And he quickly slaughters all these heroes because, I mean, it's Superman if he loses morality.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of, it's that interesting kind of, you're looking at a human and you're going, you know, this is true because we're just as capable of this. Just as capable we are of having heroics, we're capable of being the exact opposite.
Yeah, and it also shows like the limitations of humanity because there's another plot line in The Walking Dead where you see Rick after the whole prison arc, where the little spoiler territory, but after his wife Lori dies with his daughter, his newborn daughter Judith, he pretty much just shuts down. The entire arc after that, you see Carl just dragging him around through the mud and the muck, trying to keep him alive. And after he kind of gets his senses back, you see that he's pretty much a broken man. He ends up going kind of crazy, and to kind of like deal with it, he finds this old phone where he hears his wife talking to him and giving him advice. So you can kind of see like how, like what the limitations are of the human capacity and how they end up dealing with it in the end.
Oh yeah, well it's that realistic response to a situation. It's not like the classic old school comics where people just, they react idealistically. Like, they don't crack under the pressure. They don't...
Yeah, they'll react how you want them to react for plot sense, or just because, they're Superman-esque. Like, nothing can hurt them, or they have to be good for just the sake of of everybody.
It's definitely, that's that moment that reality ensues, and we kind of see it and you go, you know, that's pretty much how someone would really react in this situation. Yeah. And that's always more compelling as a reader when you look at a character and you go, this character's cracking, but this is why.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and that's what I love is that more kind of like a realistic character. It makes me want to turn the page and say like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, it's not like what I think is going to happen, but it gives you that kind of sense of surprise.
Yeah, it's a very important part of media. Part of you is your idealism, but a part of it is also is what's the real world. I swear, if you put her phone across the room, she probably would cry.
What'd y'all think of Breaking Bad? I mean, that's another instance of, someone just falling into complete darkness. And, like, along the way, like, you understand, like, kind of the whole reason, like, why they fall to such a dark state. I mean, like, shooting a kid on a, like, dirt bike, just because he witnessed, them, pumping out methylene from a train into, like, a hidden tank, Yeah. No spoilers, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, I think Breaking Bad is also a great example of what... Because, I mean, look at how many people followed that show religiously.
My parents followed it religiously, and I tagged along a bit, too, and it was really good, I'll admit, but it is very dark.
Well, it's a very interesting view on humanity in that we look at that, and I guess I would assume it's a part of wish fulfillment, in that it's kind of everyone, it's part of that whole thing, if people can be great good, or they can be great evil. And I guess that's just a very form of wish fulfillment, and that people kind of want that side. Just as people want to be good, you want to have the exact opposite.
Well, also there's this pressure of, going through cancer and stuff. I mean, that would definitely push someone over the edge to maybe go into that sort of field if they had, the knowledge to make, meth like he does, like blue crystals.
Yeah, in Breaking Bad, his reaction is very realistic when you think about it. Mm-hmm. He does what is necessary. That is the best way of putting what goes on in Breaking Bad.
And what is necessary goes downhill until it completely is like a monster.
Yeah, and that brings up a really great question of, is doing what's necessary right or wrong? Because, when you look at his perspective, what he was doing was right. But by conventional thought, what he was doing was wrong.
Yeah.
So, that's a very interesting argument where you kind of get into the situation of, like, what is right and wrong? Because right and wrong are subjective.
Yeah.
But, do we look at the society level? Because, obviously, there's the majority. Or do we look at the personal level? Your personal right and wrong?
Yeah, because of your personal experiences.
And then comes up with a great question is, which is superior? Society or individual? And, I'm assuming that's an argument that'll go on for the rest of time. Because there's really no way to agree on that one, because you're always gonna have one side be superior to the other. So that's a real interesting one. Looks like today we've gotten into a bit more philosophy than we did. Go on a bit about gaming and anime, but I think today was a bit more of a philosophy show for our listeners.
Philosophy's nice though, it just makes you think a little.
It's the nerdpocalypse, so anything nerdy is good to go. Philosophy, we had a lot of aerodynamic arguments. And
what?
Yeah.
Ian was here.
Yeah, we went into a lot of stuff about planes and tactics and World War II dogfighting.
You're going to learn some stuff here today.
We're going to learn today. But, it's the nerdpocalypse.
What a long dick looks like.
Oh, God.
You said you're gonna learn today. That's the follow-up line. You can't say that and not expect me to finish it.
But yeah, this is the nerdpocalypse. So really, anything nerdy goes. Really doesn't matter.
Just go with it.
That's true, man. Hopefully, we'll get some viewers. We'll start throwing in some just suggestions soon. But hopefully, you guys have had fun listening to the show. So
this is a broadcast because they're all ugly.
I'm fabulous.
Hey, we have faces for radio.
That shit is funny.
Hey, it's all corgi pictures.
That is true. This is you're probably staring at a corgi picture right now. I'm not gonna lie, because I still haven't figured out what I want for visuals, so it's probably gonna be a corgi.
Not your faces, that's for sure. I'm kidding. They're fabulous.
It's for the better. Fabulous.
If they were ugly, I wouldn't be friends with them.
But yeah, so we got Pi signing off.
That guy signing out.
And we got our guest Frodo.
Say my precious.
My precious.
So creepy.
Alright guys, thank you for listening to the Nerdpocalypse. I hope you guys had fun.
He's out.